So you want an SRT8 Jeep, but you're broke, so build one for a fraction of the cost. Welcome back to another episode of Monstars and the Mopar Wars. I'm your host Z. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Quick shout out to Not So Frosty for asking me to make this video. Also, I'm making Ford content, and the Mustang GTD Killer video is a banger. So watch that immediately after you're done watching this video. Matter of fact, the link will be pinned in the top comment, description below, and floating around here if you just want to watch it right now. That being said, let's get into today's video. So, a WK1 5.7 Jeep Grand Cherokee goes anywhere from $6,500 to $7,500 today. The rear-wheel drive options, which we're going to talk about today, are 84 pounds lighter than the SRT8 Jeep. And here's what you can do. A simple heads cam build with Liver Noir built heads, Texas Speed cam, long tube or shorty headers, cold air intake, Diablo Sport tune, 90mm throttle body, thermostat, catback exhaust, high stall torque converter, valve body upgrade, and Brembo OEM replacement pads and rotors. At this point, we have a peppy, strong 400 horsepower Jeep that goes anywhere around $16,000, including the price of the car and the cost of mods. Prices may vary. Based on that comment, I can hear it now because I've heard it before, and it's always a weak argument. Oh, for the amount of effort that you put in or the amount of money it's going to cost, I'd rather get the SRT8 Jeep. Well, first off, you can't. You're broke, which is why you're watching this video. Second, if you think that bolt-ons and a cam or just upgrading the top part of a V8 is a lot of effort, then you got a few options. Just get a turbocharged vehicle or something with a supercharger slapped on it, or just consider not getting a V8 at all. And third point on this, you could probably argue that you can find higher mileage, more affordable SRT8 Jeeps, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But for now, let's talk about this as a point. When is the last time you've seen a WK1 SRT8 Jeep? And that's only part of my point. And I'm not saying what you might be thinking that I'm saying. I'm not saying they're not reliable. When's the last time you've seen an SRT8 anything of this era? Because in my side of the country that I live in, and the amount of years I've been down here, in multiple cities in my area, I've only seen 2, if not 3, and they're the same 2 or 3. And that's just the Jeeps. When's the last time you've seen a Chrysler 300 SRT8, a Dodge Charger or Challenger SRT8, or a Dodge Magnum SRT8? You don't see them because they are rare. It's not because they're not reliable, it's because they are very rare. That is why they were significant and important when they came out, and even more so significant now. Back when the SRT badge truly meant something. And that was back when a lot of you weren't even born or you weren't even into cars at all. That was back when we had the SRT10 Viper, the SRT10 Ram, and then the Crossfire SRT6, and of course the Neon and Caliber SRT4s. All of which, by the way, had their own video on the Mopar Wars series. If you want to watch that playlist, go ahead and check it out. But my point is this. The 5.7 Hemi is Mopar's bread and butter, period. It is like their Honda D series, basically, where it's reliable, it's been around for a long time, and parts are available everywhere. So from a budget perspective, why not take an abundant resource that has a very strong, reliable foundation and use it as your build? And again, somebody's going to find something to argue, and you're wasting your time because I've already proven my point and I'll keep doing it. You can say, oh, well, still not going to keep up with the SRT8 Jeep. Brother, are you sure about that? Because first off, that 420 horsepower, you're not going to be able to get all of it to the ground, especially with being all-wheel drive. A lot of that power is going to be lost. So let's say you have 340 to 360 horsepower to the wheels. You don't think a heads cam bolt-on 5.7 will do the same thing on pump gas? And it's stalled probably just as good as this all-wheel drive system is. So yeah, it's probably going to be on the door of an SRT8 Jeep from a dig, and probably will gap it from a roll too. Assuming it doesn't make 380 or closer to 400 horsepower based on, your setup. So here's another thing. You can say, well, so what about all that? Because you can find higher mileage SRT8s on Marketplace for 12 grand. And that's true, you can. And they say that they run, but is that a $12,000 risk you want to take? Let's say it does run and it runs well, but things just need to be replaced because parts do wear over time, right? Gaskets, oil pans, shocks, whatever, all the above. Let's say that costs another 12 grand to do. Now it's 24 grand into this vehicle, right? Which is what you could have got a clean, lower mileage version of this vehicle for as well. But by the way, you can't afford that because you're broke, which is why you're watching this video yet again. So I don't see why it doesn't make more sense to get the 5.7. And by the way, it's a great opportunity to create a new market for the Mopar community, being SRT8 clones. Think about it. Silverado SS clone, Trailblazer SS clone. People love those. I would be shocked to some degree if people didn't think the same thing about an SRT8 WK1 clone. I said to a degree because there's a reason why I started this whole Mopar series, that there's still some hate in the community and it doesn't make sense to me. But it's an option, a creative option at that, and it has not been done yet. Also, it's probably cheaper to insure. So there's a lot of practicality reasons for going for the 5.7 as well. But that's neither here nor there. Let's move on to the supercharger stuff now. On paper, supercharger kits don't exist, and I find that funny because a 5.7 Hemi is a 5.7 Hemi is a 5.7 Hemi. But here's an idea, as I'm talking to you about this. The ProCharger kits for Jeeps of this era are only SRT8 Jeeps, the 6.1 Hemi. Let's say we swap the intake manifold over on the 5.7 and everything lines up from the 6.1 to the 5.7. Can we make the ProCharger kit fit on the 5.7 and work? Because in my mind, the dimensions of the engine bay and the interior space, for example, are the same between the two Jeeps. So if the layout of the 6.1 Hemi is identical to the 5.7, like it's a bored out 5.7 basically, why wouldn't it work? I don't know for sure, but if you want to have a go and let us know, then do that. I didn't mean to rhyme just now, but it is what it is. If you don't want to tell us, like it's a best kept secret, I completely understand that too. But it's just something I just thought about just off the top of my mind just now. It just makes sense to me. But nonetheless, which would you rather choose? If you have a 5.7 Jeep Grand Cherokee, is this something you'd be interested in doing, this head scan build, or just a bolt-ons and tune type thing? If you don't have a 5.7 Jeep Grand Cherokee, are you considering one now over SRT8 Jeep? There is no wrong answer. Because at the end of the day, you got a sleeper. Like, everybody knows what a Jeep Trackhawk is, right? But if you parked an SRT8 WK1 Jeep next to it, people wouldn't even bat an eye at it. And if they saw it on the road, they wouldn't even know what it was. They just, oh, it's a Jeep, if that. So it's a sleeper in its own right. So what do you think a 5.7 would be like? It'd be like Casper the Ghost. It'd be this thing's shadow. So let me know what you guys think. Comment below what you're interested in, why you're interested in it, if you want a parts list, that whole deal. Also, remember, GTD video, total banger. Watch it and stay tuned for more Mopar Wars videos down the road. Like, subscribe, and share. And if you don't know, now you know, but do what you want to do.